Hello, my name is Nikolai Yusupov, and in this video, I'd like to show you how to conduct a dynamic cardiology station for practice and testing. So first of all, what you need to do, you need to go to NREMT website and print out the appropriate skill sheets or testing sheets. I will put links in this video. So this is the 2016 version. This is the newer 2020 version. You notice that they removed the critical criteria, right? If you're a student, you want to still find the older version. The reason why is that it shows you some very important critical criteria that you don't want to miss, and the instructors will be looking out for that when you're performing this. But this is the newer version, the 2020. They just eliminated all this. So as a student or the instructor, the reason why you want the skill sheet is that it'll tell you the equipment that you're going to employ. So if it tells you, right, appropriately manages the rhythm, applies the ECG monitor, you're definitely going to need some sort of a mannequin where the leads are applied, and the actual electrical therapy is performed on the monitor. So you cannot perform this skill station on a sim pad like this, right, or something like this. The reason why is that you do not see the student placing the limb leads, you do not see the student placing the pads. And I'll explain to you what the problem is when we talk about the mistakes the students make. So definitely you're going to need equipment that they can employ to run this station properly, right? So once you have connected your mannequin, and I have a separate video, I'll link to this, how to connect all this so it's functional. Once everything is connected and you definitely test it out, that is in fact in working order, you yourself perform all the electrical therapies as I show in the equipment setup, then you can begin, right? So get your skill sheets. And you need to explain to the students that they are going to be verbalizing the treatments. However, electrical therapy and placement of the limb leads and the pads, they need to perform, and you need to be able to see that. You need to see how they're actually performing these energies. The other thing that I want to say that often is missed with this is that AHA versus NREMT, right? So what's the biggest difference? So we know AHA, whenever we deliver a shock, we're going to continue doing our CPR for the next 2 minutes. We're not going to just stop and reassess if we see a change in the rhythm. And more importantly, if we're actually doing active CPR, I don't care what monitor you use, even if you have filters, you're still seeing CPR artifact. So you cannot really see a true change in the rhythm. So for AHA in real life, after delivery of the shock, we're doing 2 minutes of CPR, reassess, 2 minutes, reassess, right? And here, because this is testing and this is on a time constraint, you notice it says notes change in the rhythm. Notes change in the rhythm. So that means that once the instructor has changed the rhythm, the student notes the change of the rhythm, even it was not 2 minutes, right? Since the last shock, he needs to change or she needs to change whatever they're doing. And the reason why is that if you notice, it says here 8 minutes, right? Time limit. So if you have 4 rhythms in 8 minutes and you have to assess your patient initially, you're not going to be able to do this, right, every 2 minutes. So this is the distinction between testing and AHA and real life. So testing, you see a change in the rhythm, you treat it appropriately. Real life, right, you follow AHA criteria, you run it, right, as per the AHA guidelines, you deliver the shock. So the next 2 minutes, you're doing CPR and any other therapies. So you need to explain that to the students. The next thing that I want to address, right, how this station is set up, and this will go into importance, right, when you are doing this. You want to make sure when you're connecting this and you let the student practice, they actually hear the clicks. And I go over with this in my video where I actually show you how to connect all this, but you want to hear the audible click and you want to make sure all the leads are connected. The reason why this is important, they start doing the skill, all of a sudden it says connect pads, but they seem to be connected and the student doesn't know what's going on. So you definitely want to, in practice, show them how it connects and hear the audible clicks, right? So this is very important. Employ the monitor that is fully functional and able carrying out all the energy settings. The next thing I want to address here, right? So what is the student actually performing, right? So the student actually doing psychomotor skills. They're not here to verbalize anything. So I actually want to see them charge, shock, and do all of this. And the reason why this is important, if you run this skill station, and I've seen some instructors do this, let me put this up, right? They'll put a rhythm generator, something like this, right? And they will start, right? So they will put this on the screen and they will say, all right, so play, right? And whatever rhythm comes in, right, they'll have the student from the seat, right, see this rhythm, right, see this rhythm, and they will say, what is the rhythm? And the students will have the interpretation, and then they will say, okay, what therapy are you going to provide? They'll say, I'll do this, this, or this. Same thing, they'll put VTAC, and they'll say, I will synchronize cardiovert, or I'll defibrillate. The point being, we're not training verbalizers. You go to the field, we're not verbalizing the skills, right? You actually have to perform stuff. So this is the worst thing you can do to the student. So I repeat, do not have this as part of the dynamic cardiology station, right? So this is the next part. And finally, right, once we gone over this, they're here to perform psychomotor skills. I want to talk about the common mistakes that students make when I'm testing the station. So the first mistake they make is they tend to place the quick pads, but they do not place the limb lead. So look what happens if I want to. So first of all, let me show you if I wanted to synchronize cardiovert. So I put on sync, right, and it's functional, right, and I select my energies, I charge, right, and I'm able to deliver the shock. Now, sometimes students come in and they only put the pads, right, the quick look pads, and you notice, right, all of a sudden, right, I do not see anything. Sometimes what the students may do, they will go here and they will put paddles, right? So, okay, so the paddles are displayed. Now, I want to go ahead and now perform, right, my therapies. So I select my energy, it's 100, I put it on sync, and what happens? It's not letting me, right? It's not letting me do anything. So the student will be confused, like, I want to sync, your monitor is broken. No, the monitor is not broken. What you need to explain is that your limb leads, right, must be together with the pads. The reason why is that this monitor cannot both sense and provide therapy by pads alone, right? So now I'm able to do it, right? Now the sync comes in the moment my pads are on. It will be the same thing if I wanted to perform, let's say, pacing. Let me change the rhythm to a bradydysrhythmia, right? So I put heart block, right? So if a student wanted to perform pacing and they did not put the limb leads, right? And I click pacer, right? And I start selecting my current, I have nothing, right? I have nothing. Even if I go to, right? I cannot select anything because this machine cannot both sense and provide electrical therapy through this alone. So all of this must be connected, right? So once everything is connected, then my pacer is definitely 60, right? Definitely is going to work, right? So you'll see it's functional. So you want to teach the students whenever they're placing the monitor to place both the limb leads and the quick look pads. And the common mistake is the students come in placing only the quick pads, not placing the limb leads, failure to cardiovert, failure to provide transcutaneous pacing. The next thing that I see very often the students do is that this is actually very common, right? They'll say, all right, I am going to perform synchronized cardioversion, right? And let me put the rhythm here. And what they will do, they'll say, okay, I'm going to select my energy. I'm going to start at 100, and they'll say, okay, everyone's clear. I'm going to write sync, and then they will say shock, but there's no shock delivered. The main thing that they tend to do is they forget to charge. So they forget to press the charge button, right? Why is this important? The reason why this is important is that if you are unable to actually perform this procedure, you cannot pass the skill station. So I often see the students, right? They'll be like, all right, we're going to synchronize cardiovert, right? I select my energy, 100 joules. Everyone's clear, stay clear, shock delivered. And they will actually continue with the cases they're delivering shocks. I also seen this same thing occurring if they wanted to defibrillate. They'll put 360, right? They'll say, everyone's clear, and then they'll press the shock button, did not charge it. So this is another common mistake the students make. So failure to place the limb leads, failure to charge, and then the other thing, why this is important, I see them improperly placing the limb leads. So instead of having the appropriate locations, right, right arm, left arm, and so forth, and the quick way I teach it, it's pepper, ketchup, relish, I see these in the wrong locations, right? So if you see them in the wrong locations, you will have erroneous rhythms displayed. So this is something you want to, again, make sure the students are actually able to place the limb leads appropriately for this patient, right? The other thing that I want to talk about here, right? Whenever you conduct this, you want to have these skill sheets available for the students so they're able to see this and appropriately conduct the scenario. You could get these on NREMT website. I'll put the links to this below. Even though this is a testing tool, right? It's not per se a teaching tool. It is important for them to know what the station actually involves. And if you're the student and your instructor says, okay, we're testing or we're practicing dynamic cardiology, right? And all you see is this type of screen, right? And you're sitting on your chair and the instructor tells you, all right, we're just going to verbalize everything. You need to then say, all right, I looked at the skill sheet and the skill sheet clearly says applies ECG monitor, right? It says appropriately manages initial rhythm, right? Correctly interprets the second rhythm, right? Appropriately manages the rhythm. Does that mean we actually have to perform it? So ask this question, right? And if you're still not sure, the instructor is still not sure, find the CIC, right, the instructor coordinator, and ask him how the station should be conducted. And again, the importance of the paramedic skills is that you want to perform the skills. That's why they're called psychomotor skills, right? They're not called verbalization skills. If you do not know how to actually defibrillate cardiovert, right, and pace, and place your limb leads, how are you going to be able to do this in the field on an actual patient who is sick? So do not verbalize, you actually want to perform skills.